Alright, so if I'm going to be in the business of dropping names, then I'm going to talk about some of the great preachers and the great speakers that I've encountered, even on YouTube. I know that a lot of it. I personally don't like reading because it just takes too much time. I wish I had more time. I wish I had more focus, but um, there have been some preachers because I love the preachers who preach about faith, but my great love is intellectualism. And ironically enough, the first guy that I've really encountered has makes it kind of clear that he is not an intellectual. He's a man of God. He's a preacher. He's an apologist. Um, if you're a skeptic and you've kind of written off Christianity as you think faith is blind faith regardless of whether there's evidence or not, then Ravi Zacharias is very much not that. He is very, very evidence based. And I love that. I do. Because it's like you really can spend your life and just live in faith. You can trust God. But we don't live in a day and age where people are content with that. And he really does go into some really, really deep reasons why belief in Jesus and the Christian God makes the most sense. Because he does take every side seriously. Because you cannot write off the things that people believe as bullshit. You can't do it. You need to take what other people believe seriously. Because if you claim to love, people, then you need to know their side. See, Ravi Zacharias, he came from the caste of the Hindu priesthood. His dad was a bigwig in their organization, so he knew Hindi. He knew his religion. And it was actually through an attempted suicide that he actually came to know Jesus. He came to know Christ. And if that's not encouraging to you, especially to those who feel like they reached rock bottom, his family just kind of wrote him off as a disappointment because he liked sports. And they thought he would never go anywhere, he'd never do anything, and the dude's been crisscrossing the globe for 50 years. He's talked to leaders of nations, man. I think it's interesting that I can compare him to a lot of the, you get kings who have their advisors, they have their prophets. He's like the Old Testament prophets sort of thing. It's kind of cool. He's a very wise, very humble man. And he's good. That's really where you can start off. His talks are really long, but they are worth listening to. And I think that you'll get to know the people around him. And I think it would be good. It'd be great. See, I've known Christ my entire life. I didn't have a come to Christ moment. It was, he's always been with me. And it's interesting to see how differently he differently he lives in people's lives. How different people from different parts of the world. My sister-in-law is from oh my god, she's gonna kill me. But she's Philippines. She's a Filipina, and she's lived a very different life, and yet she found Christ. She has a love for God that I've never seen, and I'm blessed to have her in my life. She changed my brother, who for my entire life we had gotten into so many arguments about faith, and his biggest problems were how, my dad was a very big detriment to our faith. He used to quote scripture to excuse abuse. But, when you grow up and you realize that a lot of the things he was saying was bullshit. And I don't even remember the scripture he quoted. He was just an abusive asshole who was using whatever means he had at hand to excuse what he was doing. He still does not know what he did was wrong. And as a result, we don't talk to my dad anymore. Because you can forgive somebody, but know that they will not change. And I'm not going to expose my niece or my nephew or my family to that. I pray for him every day. But she changed my brother's life. Because by being a godly woman, she inspired him to be a godly man. And that really undid a lot of the damage that my dad did to my brother. Because he was a big shadow. Alright, I don't know how long this video's going to be able to go. But yeah, Ravi Zacharias, man. Seriously. It'll change your life. If you let it.